So, hey, everybody. As promised, I have another fantastic person that I would like you to meet this week. I would like you to meet Dina Corrado, who is Disaster Dina with ServPro. So, Dina, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So Dina, ServPro. ServPro does so many different things, and anyone who owns a home should know what your company does and the types of different disasters that you go ahead and tackle on. So why don't you real quickly just kind of tell everyone a little bit about what ServPro is, what you guys do in general, and then I'm going to go back and ask you what you're doing right now with COVID and just what has been happening with COVID this whole time. So it's all you, Dina.
Okay, thank you. Disaster Dina here with ServPro. So basically, we handle any kind of disaster that would go on in your house. So whether it's fire, flood, mold remediation, crime scene cleanup, I hope not, or it could be a COVID cleaning for a residential, you've had people in your house and you've been exposed or whatnot. So there's different levels of what we do. Mainly you will see with a residential, you might almost always handle it with like fire and flood, basements backing up, sewage backups. They're the biggest things that we see, or like when you put your boiler on for the first time and it has a puff back and there's soot all over your house, we clean that as well. A lot of real estate agents tend to use us for a couple of reasons. Mold remediation is huge. You want to make sure you have no mold in your house when you're purchasing it. Secondary is they may come across a hoarding situation. And that takes a lot of work, not only cleaning, but disposal and things like that. So we've done some things for that. And then in other instances, we've also cleaned up and converted some houses that may have been used for some illegal use, like drugs and things of that nature, gone through and cleaned it and made sure it's safe for it to be inhabited.
Yeah, you have seen it all, some of the stories that you've told me, and you actually just gave me an example a few moments ago for a commercial property that they had a car go in through the front of the building. Somebody wasn't paying attention. So what does that look like? Again, you're a business and something has happened to your building. They're gonna, I guess my first question is are they calling you first? Are they calling their insurance company first? What are they doing?
So typically they call us immediately. A lot of times we get a phone call from the fire chief, the police officers on site, and they'll say, there's a car in a building. Can you please, arrange to have someone come right away? And even before they've called their insurance agent, because it may be a structural issue, it might be securing the property, any of those things. So police officers and firemen are not allowed to leave the scene unless it's the owner is present or someone is there to secure it, whether it be a fire in your house and or your business. It doesn't really matter. So a lot of times they help try and facilitate you getting someone there immediately. And so we are open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We never close down. There's always someone to answer the phone, no matter what or when you call. When it comes to the commercial side of things, yeah, you can have somebody driving through a building. We've also done a ton of COVID cleaning for warehouses and really critical. We do a lot of firehouses, police stations, because your first responders need to be safe too. So we'll work with them. There's so many things in a commercial building that can go wrong. So we help them, and we also do an emergency plan for them to help them know how to handle an emergency before it happens.
And that's something that your company does free of charge for any commercial building, correct?
Correct. And so it'll identify everything in your building that could possibly go wrong. And then it also talks about, it'll also allow the people to put information on their contacts when those things happen, add a plumber, add a roofer, who's your security person, who's your PR person, because they're going to be in charge of a lot of phone calls. So that plan helps them think about, God forbid, a disaster and how it should be handled. And hopefully they never have to do it, but at least they're prepared.
Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to just kind of give an overview of what you do and what ServPro does. And if someone has a disaster and they need to call Disaster Dina, Is there a 1-800 number? What is the best way that someone can get to their local ServPro and make a call?
They can call the 1-800-ServPro. That's the easiest. Of course, if you know me, you can call my personal cell number. I answer it 24/7. There's many ways, and Shelby can share with you any contact information, whether it be email or my cell number is fine.
Thank you, Dina. I appreciate you. And guys, I have had the opportunity to use ServPro numerous times, whether for clients and or cleanups, or even in my old previous life in construction when we needed some water damage done. So I can attest that this is a great company and they are here to help you, and you are quick to respond. So thank you very much, Dina, for your time today.
Thanks so much for having me. Have an awesome day.
Thank you. All right, guys, I'll see you next week with somebody else new for you to meet. Thanks.